guys, it's Neros Aldris, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Thanks to a certain user, shout out to him, Serena Vander Woodson, asking about my assassin build, I've decided maybe I want to make some kind of like a quick little tips, tricks video and utility explanation why I chose what, why I didn't choose what. And with that said, let's get right into it. So first on the skillful part, I usually take avoidance and snaring slashes. Uh, Mostly avoidance because the reduction on jolt and unbreakable will and force speed is going to be invaluable in terms of canceling out your opponent's abilities, obviously, making sure you don't get stun locked and killed, and obviously escaping with force speed. It's just an all-around good thing to take, and none of the other ones really appeal to me other than snaring slashes, which is going to be doing the exact opposite. Oh, in some ways similar, but sort of the exact opposite of avoidance, which is going to be slowing down your enemies and making sure they can't get away from you. Because it's going to make your thrash, your voltic slash, and your lacerate reduce the movement speed the enemies by 30% for 6 seconds, and it's going to be you're going to be using a lot of voltic slash, not so much lacerate or thrash, but yeah, it's going to certainly help slow down things when you're trying to chase or when someone's trying to run away, obviously. On the masterful, I would usually take Fade and Nerve-Wracking. Fade because of a later ability, although I don't have it selected at the moment, but even without that ability selected, the reduction on Force Cloak of 45 seconds is just ridiculous. It almost halves the time, and it is a 2-minute cooldown originally, so it's just a very good thing to take. If you want to run away when you're down with health, if you want to just sneak out, quickly reposition yourself, it's really good for that. Nerve-Wracking, it doesn't really increase your damage, other than like what you can base do plus 5%, but the thing about that I like is that take 5% more damage from all sources. So if you and a couple other dudes are battering down on one guy, it's gonna significantly increase the damage you're all doing to him. You can also take some of the other stuff here. Speeding Surge is nice if you want more mobility. Sash and Shelter I never really found all that useful, but you know, it's something. The other two I really consider more PvE sort of stuff. On the Heroic, you want Magnetism. This is a very interesting one because it's going to, once again, go back to stopping your enemy from running away, because that's what I'm noticing a lot in PvP recently. If you're getting low on health, the dude just pops a stealth or just force speeds or whatever escapes they have, and they just use that to rush out of there. And you want to be able to prevent that. So this is going to help with that. And another thing here is going to be insulation. And this is a lot of stuff. This is going to be helping with your opening damage and sort of not being damaged by the initial burst of an opponent right after you mind trap them and they break out of it. Well, you break them out of it with an ability. Because it's going to lower that damage by 25% for 10 seconds. And it's also, obviously, since you're Deception, well, I'm Deception. I don't know if you want to do that with a tank. But as a Deception, it's going to give you armor rating plus 30%, which is always nice. You could also take Dark Stability. Dark Stability is really useful. It's not really my style, so I don't take it. And Immersion is also very nice. Helps you escape in a lot of situations. Now, for Legendary, I always take Reaper's Rush. This is the one thing you don't not take Reaper's Rush, and we'll get into that when I do the like, little tips and tricks thing. But basically, what it does is it grants Reaper's Rush, allowing your next Assassinate to be used on any target, regardless of the remaining health, and it. Additionally, if you kill that target within 10 seconds, it will re-up Phantom Stride's cooldown, which is over here. Now, the other one I got is Hand of Darkness. I'll rotate between Renewing Darkness, Retaliatory Grip, or Hand of Darkness, depending on what I'm doing. Renewing Darkness, if it's going to be like a fight where I'm going to have difficulty staying alive or finding a hiding spot to heal. Hand of Darkness, if what I want to do is just as much damage as possible from myself while not being attacked all that much, and Retaliatory Grip if the enemy is focusing you hard. So if they're focusing you, this ability is just going to make it so that 50% of the damage they're doing to you is just going to go back to them, as long as it's force or tech damage. Yeah, but those are my utilities, and now let's get into like the tips and tricks version portion of this little video. So with assassins, obviously you always want to use Mind Trap right before you engage, if you can at least, if they're not already in combat. I usually like to start it off with a spike, and then I'll rotate around Ball Lightning, Maul, Reaping Strike. When they're procced, okay, is when you want to use them. You don't want to use them too much when they're not procced. But other than that, you want to use your abilities in situationally. Like in between the procs of Maul and Ball Lightning, I'll usually throw in a Voltic Slash. And you can use low slash and a lot of times to, like, if you're playing something like Hut Ball, stop the ball carrier, or if you're playing something like 4v4s, this is a really good way to, like, isolate a healer back behind the group without white barring him. Because using something like Electrolyte is obviously going to last longer, but thanks to that one utility, Hand of Darkness, I think it was, this is actually going to do significantly more slow, 1 second more, but sometimes it's all that matters. So you're going to be able to slow the healer back, keep him behind, and that allows you to focus them for a little bit longer while the enemy's a little confused, like, hey, where's the healer? They're out front fighting your friends, but you're all the way at the back fighting him because you managed to slow him down with a low slash. Now, but other than that, there is a very nice little thing that I figured out. It's actually quite obvious if you think about it, but your main damage is going to come from discharge. You want to use discharge whenever it pops up. And, like, it doesn't look like it does much damage, like 3,000 to 3,350. It's not that much. You see, even low slash does more damage than that. But the thing is, you have to consider your discharge charges. So when you get 3 of those, discharge does massive amounts of damage, like almost always above 10,000, sometimes 12,000, 13,000. So you want to try to use it whenever it's procced, and you want to also, that's another reason you took Reaper's Rush. You always want to have Recklessness and Phantom Stride, and you can use those abilities to get those 3 discharges that you need for a really quick burst of damage that the enemy might not be expecting. So, like, for instance, I can just come in here, Spike, do a Maul, and then I go straight into a Recklessness, Discharge, and then if they're trying to run away, I can do Phantom Stride and another Discharge, and then I can Assassinate, and then back to Reaping Strike, and these 2 are procced. I can just do that, and then there's nothing procced. You can do a Voltic Slash, another Voltic Slash, do that, and discharge back up again. So following that sort of method is going to allow you to have some really consistent high DPS output. And just throw in your other abilities as necessary, like, your Deflection, your Overcharge Saber, which is going to help you when you're, like, in a tough spot. It's going to help you do some extra damage, and it's also going to heal you for 15%. Obviously, you want to use your Overlords. Overload is a very nice ability. I don't usually use it a lot, though, outside of, like, keeping people out of the green circle when the times run on a 4v4, or throwing people off stuff during Hut Ball. Lacerate, you want to use maybe if you're in a large group and you want to slow them as they're chasing, like, the ball carrier or something. You want to just lacerate the whole group. It's going to slow them down significantly thanks to your snaring slashes. And other than that, the only real thing you want to be aware of is that the assassin can actually have, like, a pre-battle thing with Lacerate, where you do 2 of these, and it grants you induction and voltage. So if you can, you always want to do this before you enter into combat. It's going to give you an immediate proc on Ball Lightning, and yeah, that's about it. Is there anything I missed? Nope, that should be about it. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, see you guys.